Hi, everybody. I am Kimberly. I want to talk to you about signs of a spiritual awakening. Being mindful, knowing your body and knowing your true self and feeling yourself evolving, knowing that, listening to the universe, knowing something is different within inside you, knowing that your words matter. For me, another sign of a spiritual awakening, knowing and being mindful that you matter, that what you have to say matters, when you have to say it matters, who you say it to matters. So not only think of yourself, but try to think of others. Be empathetic also. Um, Put yourself in others' shoes when you speak, being at one with the universe and feeling yourself, knowing something ain't right, going with that gut feeling that this ain't right or this is right, or just going with it, putting that positive energy out there, speaking your words to existence, knowing that what you say matters. It all has to do with self. Once you start with self and work on self, so many other things will just fall in place. But you have to work on self. You have to be mindful of self. You have to be aware of self and recognize that you are in control of your reality, and what you say is powerful. Your words are powerful. You are powerful. You are a spiritual being. I can tell you some things, for example. I don't know, like before I started my journey with my lax, about it'll be 5 years ago in May. I was going through something. I was growing through something. I knew something was happening. I knew there was a change. I knew that I just felt it within me, a shift in the universe. I just knew. So what I ended up doing was, not only did I start my journey with my locks, but I also went contingent on my job, and I got my grandson for a month, and I just focused on me and did something for me. And as I was going through this journey with my locks and stuff, I went through a life changing experience. I apologize. I went through a life changing experience, and I begged for life. I fought for my life. Somebody was trying to take me out of this universe, out of this realm with their hands. And they did it a week later also. And after that happened, I went through panic attacks. I went through anxiety, vertigo, depression. I became somebody that I'm normally not. I became this thing that was wrecking myself and allowing my mind to control me and to overpower me and to own my feelings and my emotions. I allowed so much stuff to happen to me that I one day had a nervous breakdown, and I was camping, and I went, and I just, enough was enough, and I just couldn't take it anymore, and I snapped, and I just cried and screamed, and I said to the Most High, please take my burdens. They're too heavy for me. Give me yours, because I can't do this anymore. And as I did that, and it didn't just happen overnight, but as I did that, I felt a release though. I felt better. I felt I felt something within me that just shifted and said, you'll be okay. I just knew I'd be okay. So as I'm going through this journey and I gave away my burdens, I started controlling my mind. And a way of controlling my mind is I had to get inside myself. I had to become one with myself and able to get outside of myself. So through my locks, I was able to have peace. Started meditating through my locks. I was in my head so much, and I was devoted to my locks. And even though everybody kept telling me don't do it, and I'm going to regret it, and my hair is so beautiful before, and why would I do this to myself, and da da da. And it looked awkward. I went through a phase of really looking awkward because when I started my locks, I started them with my hair just above my buttocks. It was too heavy for my scalp, and it was too tedious to stay locked in. So I had to cut. So when I cut it up to here. So I cut at least, I'm gonna say, a foot off. Yeah, at least a foot off. And then as it started locking in, it started getting shorter. So then my hair was like here on these sides, and it was weird for me. It felt odd, and I went through phases where I know it looked weird, and I was like, oh man, I can't do this. But I stayed committed because of what I'd grown through it, because of what the benefits it was giving me. I was reaping benefits from my locks. Because the more I was in my head and the more I was doing this, and it was not easy. I mean, my arms hurt and everything, and I felt like I was starting a fire in my head. But the more I was doing this, and the more I shut my mind down because I was in my head, and I stayed in my head so much that I beat a battle. I beat one of the hardest battles with inside me through my hair. I swear on everything I love. I calmed me down. I quieted my mind and owned my mind. It was a process. It was a process, but it was such a journey, a joyous one, and I fell in love. And now I have a relationship with my locks, and we have um we have a story to tell together. We grew together, and now my locks are back above my almost my buttocks again. But this is almost 5 years later, and I love the me that I grew into from getting outside of myself. And it was so hard to close my mind down. It was so hard to stop my thoughts, to stop everything from happening that I was allowing to happen to myself. And I was still going down a downward spiral along this journey. And the little steps that I got where I was growing, I held on to those and I cherished those and I saw those and spoke on those and I gave respect to those moments. I didn't just brush them underneath the rug and as if nothing happened. Every little step that I did that was growth towards a better me, I held that as if it was the greatest accomplishment I ever did. One of the hardest things through all this that I had to learn to do was to love me correctly. Love me unconditionally the right way. Through my flaws and all, to see how perfect I was with me, for me. Not saying I never did no wrong. I still to this day, we're growing every day. If you can't say you're growing every day, then you're really not trying to do anything with yourself. But I'm accepting everything about me, and I'm not critiquing nothing, and I'm not making anything about me be a mole or a mountain, because I am aware of me. I control me, but I'm loving me correctly. So every day I'm telling me how wonderful I am and all the great things about me, and I'm listening to what others say. My mind is now so quiet that I can hear the universe speak. My mind is so quiet that I see how others feel about me. My mind is so quiet. My vision of myself is greater because I'm not just looking through my eyes, I'm looking through others' eyes. I'm hearing and seeing what others think of me, and I'm reaping the benefits because I'm feeling it. I'm living now on a higher vibration. I'm living now with true to self. I'm striving for so much peace within me that no one can take it or change it. And I'm doing a good job reaching that. And I'm learning that I don't need somebody else in my corner to cheer me on because I am cheering me on. I learned that everything that I'd done for others and how I loved others, that I deserve to do it for myself. And I deserve to love myself that way. It's not easy and it's not going to happen overnight, but those little teeny steps that you do, don't overlook them. Don't put them in that box of little teeny steps. They are huge triumphs. They are great, great things that you're doing for you when you put you first. And I always thought that was very selfish. I thought that was the most selfish act ever, was to love me. But then I realized it wasn't. It was selfless because I always put me last. So I'm not selfish for loving me at all correctly. I'm not selfish for loving me at all correctly. I'm going to repeat that again. Loving you correctly. A lot of people say, oh, I do love myself. Do you, though, the right way? Do you love yourself as if you would your mate? Do you love yourself as if you would your sibling? Do you love yourself as you would your child? That's unconditional love that you have for a child. Do you love yourself like that? Do you truly love you inside and out, flaws and all? No, because you're still beating yourself up over things. I learned to not worry about those that I cannot control and only and worry about what I can, which is self. I love me. I love me so correctly and so positively and so the right way. I love me the right way. But it took a long time. It wasn't easy, I swear. It was the hardest thing ever to do because I didn't think it was fair. I thought I was being selfish. I thought that me loving me was unheard of. No one really loved me the way I loved them. Nobody. So when I decided I was going to strive to be the person that I was searching, that's when everything changed. That's when I knew that I am now awakening to a different spiritual realm, different look on life. I have so much peace, so much joy, I'm at a higher vibration now because I'm learning to love me correctly. Because I'm being mindful. I'm I'm, I'm showing others so much respect and care because I love me. Once you love you the right way and love you unconditionally, then you can allow yourself to start loving someone else. Until then, though, you need to really focus on loving you, not this half-ass loving you neither. I'm talking unconditional, 100% all the way around. Be proud of who you are because you are tailor-made and there's nobody else out there like you. You have to remember that. So, shine bright. Accept the beauty in you and the flaws. Give yourself a daily hug. Tell yourself you are worth it. You are proud of you. Tell yourself you deserve everything above and below because you are a God body, because you are important. You are tailor made just the way you are, perfect, flawed, and all. So that's all I want to share with you today. I appreciate you. May your day be full of positive energy and high vibrations. Stay smiling and start loving you correctly. Give yourself a hug. You're beautiful. Stay blessed.